Welcome to Metals Investors Forum. My name is Brian Leni. I'm the editor of Junior Stock and Premium. Today with me, I have Bart Jaworski, CEO of Group 11. Group 11 has got arguably, especially in my opinion, one of the best discoveries I've seen in a long time in Ballywire, located in a great jurisdiction of Ireland. Let's start off with your drill result from this week. Best to date, I think, that we've seen, 30 meters. Was it around 15.5%?
Over 500 grams per ton silver and 0.7% copper. So it was a silver hit.
Yeah.
30 meters of 550 grams per ton silver and some other stuff as well.
Yeah.
I think that was the main point about that news release.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And so this is sort of right at it's a step out, but you're right in the heart of that system too.
Yeah, we're kind of on the edge of the massive sulfide zone. So it is within our discovery per se, but we're kind of right on the edge of where the massive sulfide kind of ended. And we stepped out 80 meters from that. And what we discovered, we're actually drilling that hole not for the massive sulfide. We were just testing for the deeper copper silver target, the feeders. And this was an incidental hit. So we were quite surprised to get it. And then looking back on it now, it's actually 400 meters away from where we actually originally last May hit a 6 meter zone of almost equal grades. We had 6 meters of about 1,000 grams silver and about 4% copper. And that's really where the market started to take in our copper potential and price that in. So that was a pivotal hit. And then obviously we had the 3 fan holes out there proving that we had these deeper copper silver feeders. And now we're 400 meters over from that. We just nailed this gangbuster hole over that 30 meter hit. And within it, I should say, is 8.4 meters of over nearly 2 kilos per ton of silver, 1,776 grams per ton silver, and 2.2% copper. So that's just at the base of the wall, Sortian limestone, and we're continuing on that hole. And who knows, we're in the middle of that. That's in progress, but we're crossing our fingers for what's next along that line. And it basically tells us the massive sulfide might be veering south of where we previously drilled along the trend. So that's kind of the exciting part, because we said, we missed something here. We have to go back to the 2 holes that we drilled where this is projecting is basically open to the south.
Yep.
There's a really nice hit there. I think it's like 9 meters of 11% with good silver in there too. And we never bothered to close it because we were basically chasing the system to the northeast. So unfinished business, looks really, really good.
And a good problem to have.
Good problem to have, absolutely.
So what I think it would be good is if we're talking about feeder, we're talking about silver and copper in this feeder system, then we're talking about lead and zinc. How does the geology work? Well, what do you mean by feeder, and why do you see copper and silver at the one end, or concentrated copper and silver, and then versus the lead and zinc maybe in the other?
Yeah, so basically it's a flat-lying zinc, lead, silver system, and now we're finding that there's these vertical or near vertical copper silver feeder structures. Now it appears that they're connected, almost that the mineralizing fluids must have been coming up to feed the zinc zone, or there's some kind of a second pulse that's more copper rich, or maybe an initial pulse.
Okay.
We're not quite sure yet exactly what the chronology is, but it looks like it's certainly spatially connected. And the idea is that if there's zinc there, now we have a strong suspicion that the copper must be there all along, but we have to prove that yet.
Right.
But that's kind of the background. And then the other thing, more from a regional perspective, if you back out and look at Ballywire, it kind of sits within a mini copper belt of Ireland. So there's 4 prospects around us, and we're sort of in the middle of that. And those 4 prospects, one of which was actually a mine in the 60s, an open pit copper silver mine. And so there are these occurrences around us. It's just that they're basically eroded. The tops of those systems are eroded, and it's just the copper roots are sticking out of the ground, which is why they were previously found, because they're basically at surface. What we have at Ballywire is kind of the best of both worlds, and now we have a zinc system preserved, but we also have the copper roots. Okay. So that's kind of the interesting thing. We haven't seen that in Ireland yet. It's been theorized that something like that might be found one day in Ireland, and here basically we found it. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And so how do these I'll call them calcite plumes work into it? You've got 4 sort of anomalous areas. You're really only delineating one of them right now.
Yeah.
How does the calcite work into that?
Yeah, so on top of basically sitting on top of the massive sulfide zones, what we're finding is these almost like calcite exhaust systems. We don't exactly know exactly how they formed, but it appears that the mineralizing fluids dissolved the limestone, and then when those fluids precipitated the metal, they moved up. Things got colder, and they precipitated these pure white megacrystalline calcite bodies with chunks of sphalerite all the way up. in some cases. So anytime we're seeing big calcite bodies in historic drilling along the trend, which we're definitely seeing that, we're now saying, oh, that could be what we're seeing at the discovery.
Wow.
So it could be a very strong indication that underneath that big calcite, that blocky calcite, is a massive sulfide zone.
Right.
And that's certainly what we're seeing at D. The D gravity anomalies, like number one, we have the gravity anomaly there, we have the calcite body there. We've done some preliminary drilling. It looks like we got some mineralization there. It's rusted out, so it looks like it was X massive sulfide, but just weathered out. So there's a lot more work for that to be done. And actually now we're about to start drilling the D gravity anomaly basically through the center of it. So I'm crossing my fingers for that one.
Yeah. Well, and to me as an investor, you see the geophysical line up with the geochemical. These are, coming together, and it appears like you have this connection. And I guess this will be proof, and it could cascade to the other anomalies too, which I think is super exciting.
Yeah.
And I think the last time we talked, when you guys stepped out on this D anomaly, you hit some oxidized sulfides.
Yeah.
And to me that it was super exciting because was kind of like a proof of concept. And if you deflect on an angle outside of that oxidized, maybe you hit the massive sulfide. Like I said, you've got the geophysical and the geochemical that sort of suggest you're in the right area, right?
Yeah. I think we've got very good intel on D, and we've learned so much from the C anomaly, from the discovery today. We know its morphology, how the gradation is working, when you're in it, and then when you step out of it, what the grades are doing. And so once we step out and look at the historicals, that gives us a lot of perspective and intelligence as to what might be happening. So basically what we're trying to do is take what we found to date and basically multiply that by 24 times based on what we're seeing to date. And to back that up maybe a little bit, take what we have to date on C, multiply that by 4, because we have A, B, and D anomalies.
Yep.
If we're successful on that, that'd be a times 4. And we appear to have the emergence of a parallel zone to the north and to the south. So times that by 3, all of a sudden, times 4 times 3 is 12. And then times 2, if we find those deeper copper silver roots, that's all of a sudden 24. Yeah. So that's kind of the evidence as it lands. Obviously, we have to prove it up with the drill bit. So there's a lot of work for us to do. But that's kind of what we're seeing on the ground as it stands right now. So that's the exciting part. And obviously the silver, and those are the 3 slides that I added to the talk today. That's really exciting as well, because if you really strip out all the other metals and look at the silver, this is a silver discovery.
Absolutely.
With some other stuff in there too, but this is definitely a silver discovery as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In terms of meterage, assay release, what does the first half of the year look like for you guys?
We've got 11 holes in the kitty right now in terms of just near-term holes that we are in progress of. We're just about to start drilling. There's 4 rigs on site. We're well funded. We're in the middle of a 25,000 meter program. There's only been about 20,000 meters drilled on property to date at the discovery.
Yep.
So we're looking to basically double the drilling that we've done historically in the next year, up until probably early 27.
Right.
So it's going to be a very busy year. And I think, there's no seasonality in Ireland, right? There's so we can drill all year round. Drill costs are nice and low in Ireland, thankfully, because there's no helicopter costs, no camp costs and things like that. The lab is right beside us by pure fluke. So all those things add up. And so it should be a very exciting year for us that way.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So Ballywire is obviously the focus.
Yeah.
Palace Green is also pretty exciting too. And what that means in attachment with what's already there with what Glencore owns, but then the property you own that's coincident with it. Will we see any drilling or any?
Yes. So that's a good point, because it's often gets overshadowed, but that is a super, super exciting target. Now it's still sort of pie in the sky. We haven't actually, connected. We haven't got that home run hole, discovery hole there yet, but all the indications are that there should be a Palace Green number 2 to the south side of where we have the 45 million ton deposit right now, Glencore's Palace Green deposit. That occurs on the north side of this volcanic feature. And if we move to the south side of the volcanic feature, we have the identical geology. The feeder structures, the sort of initial volcanic bodies are similar. There's breccia bodies, there's faults running through the south side. There's indications of high grade in and around at our Carrick Hill prospect that we were drilling off in 2020 and 2021. So all those indications are there. It's just that no drilling has ever been done there really because the discovery was to the north, and that's where a heck of a lot of drilling happened. And the south side was completely ignored until we came along. We just started drilling it. But obviously in the meantime, we discovered Ballywire. And again, that's where all the capital has gone into.
Yep.
So what we'd love to do, and we're going to do this year, is this is probably going to be our third iteration of some very preliminary drilling, regional sort of reconnaissance drilling. But I think we're at a tipping point there in our understanding, and maybe this year I would hope that we would get a lot further along, because if we do find what we think is potentially there, that would be obviously a whole other chapter to this, a whole other chapter to this story. This, I think, one of the best drill targets in the country for sure, and probably up there globally as well.
Totally. Like as an investor myself, I know the valuation in the market's attention is all on Ballywire, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah.
But this is like the gravy.
Yeah, that would be the home runner. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's like when you can get stuff like that for free, the market hasn't even recognized. Like to me, that's huge opportunity.
Yeah,
and so what gives me a lot of hope and interest on what happens in 2026 and beyond.
Yeah,
Bart, thank you so much for presenting with me today. And guys, I really hope that you check out Group 11.